motive.
I think this is our first consecutive sibling occurrence ever at this open mic. That's crazy. So next up, the first ever double sibling appearance at an open mic. I don't think we've even had related people. Are you really related?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Please welcome Noah Sawyer.
Look at my fork.
A good clapper.
So it turns out I'm a horrible person. Yeah. I discovered this when my mom bought me this shirt, and she said it reminded her of me, and it's kind of a cruel, twisted, not really, it's supposed to be funny, but it's like mean at the same time. And it says, how to pick up chicks. Kind of makes me feel like I'm a player a little bit. Makes me disappointed in my life. It turns out, though, I discovered that I really must be, because I was going to stir my tea, and I usually stir my tea with a fork. So I went to get a fork out of the drawer. I opened the drawer, and there's this fork, and one of the prongs is bent back like this. And you know you're a horrible person when even your silverware flips you off. And this is a true story. I'm being dead serious. I found this, and I was really bummed out about it. So, I'm 15. I'm in high school still, sadly. It's really depressing. Yeah! So, I found a few ways to, cheat the system and make school fun, because school's usually hell. It's supposed to be that way. So I found a few ways, and I would like to tell you about them. Like when you're in class, and your teacher sits there and tells you, for 20 minutes, on how there's no such thing as a stupid question, so you should ask questions. Yeah. The whole time she was saying that, I thought of the stupidest question I could. So when she said, does anybody have questions, I said, I have a question. And she's like, what's your question? I said, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your favorite color of the alphabet? And then she goes, well, that's a stupid question. And all I thought was, I actually said this to her, I said, well, then you just lie to all the children's. Please acknowledge my grammar. It's 100% attention. And then there's a bunch of others that have stupid questions, just kind of got along. But another way that I think school is funny, because obviously I try to make fun. So another thing is I take people and I make their lives really dramatic, but there's one guy that I don't have to make his life dramatic, because he is just the epitome of the cool guy. Like you have in high school you have those nerds, and then you have the nerds that are in style, also known as the cool people. So you have like this guy, he thinks he's the coolest guy in the world. Like he's like this kind of cool. Where are my glasses? Okay, that's me. No. I'm not gonna get okay. Okay. So he's like this kind of cool. He's like, what'd you say? Homie? What? I pronounce homie like homie because I'm Muslim. Bruh. Like that's his whole lifestyle, and it really makes me sad. I'm just like, what is this guy gonna grow up to be? And I look at him and I'm like, it's gonna be nothing. Just gonna be erased in time. It's gonna be sad. God is just gonna pick him up and just take him somewhere else. And so, there's this one time in the locker room, I kind of stood up to him because he also was kind of a jerk to everybody, and he's like, "Hey, Sawyer, put this in my locker." And I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna put it in my locker." And he threw me a red beanie, and the story is also true. I'm being 100% real now. Like, who actually lives their life this way? It's like, oh man, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, he wears his pants right here. And I'm just like, that's smart, if you think about it, because he can just kind of he's a football player. That's how I know him. I play football with him. And he's a football player, and he's not very good at it. No. Hard. But so he's like one of those fourth string bench, you know, like he's not even good enough to be on the bench. Okay, probably just because he thinks he's too little, like too confident. Probably. Oh, okay. But like, so yeah, sorry, I got.
Pants down here. You
Yeah, his pants down here, and I thought that was pretty intelligent because when he needs to get ready to put on his football pants, he could just kind of step out. He doesn't like. This one time he walked in the locker room and I was just kind of like, looking like a fool with your pants on the ground. Because that's one of my favorite songs off of American Idol. They're all exclusive, actually. What was the other one that was really... Okay, and then there was... Okay, so I want to be a comedian, as you can tell, I'm up here doing comedy. There was this lady at our school giving out candy, and she was like really old. Emphasis on the old. And she was handing out candy to people that knew what they were going to do with their lives and what they wanted to do. And I told her I wanted to be a comedian. She's like, well, that's highly illogical. And I was like, I'm not even sure highly illogical is a word, but you're like 150, you living tomorrow is highly illogical. And that's all I have.